They don't want to be like the rich and popular kid in school like America, nor do they want to have vast territories like the Roman Empire. Their only concern is money and control. For this purpose, they are implementing the plans and policies of a famous family from history. Our topic is the Shadow Empire, China. Let me explain. You know the Rothschild family, one of the families in the five families ruling the world myth. Their rise began when Father Mayer sent his 5 sons to 5 different financial capitals of Europe to control the monetary policies there. They loaned money to kings, knowing they couldn't pay it back, and financed wars. They lent money to France to defeat England and to England to defeat France, and they never lost a war, as they were the owners of the war. Because war is gambling, and the Rothschilds were the house, and the house never loses. Consequently, the unpaid debts left kings dependent on the Rothschilds. Thus, a simple family turned into a multinational empire, without firing a single shot or shedding a drop of blood. Later, they acquired important railroads and ports of countries and built media empires. While kings and rulers were after land, the Rothschilds sought to control the population, accomplishing it with money rather than armies or elections, and years later, the policy they implemented would be adopted by today's China. So how? Their common point is that legally, where their rulings won't prevail, both the Rothschilds and China didn't use the army. They achieved this solely with money. In China, they took over countries' mega constructions in exchange for debt, just as the Rothschild family did, lending to countries they knew couldn't repay. For example, a port built with Chinese labor and materials in an African country in exchange for a debt was essentially a port built on Chinese soil. It was clear that the African country couldn't repay the debt, and that the port would de facto belong to China. Another area where China took a cue from the Rothschild family was in creating dependency. Currently, there isn't a single country that doesn't have goods manufactured in China. Even third world countries produce some of their products in China. As a result, you cannot take any adverse actions against China or boycott them. Subsequently, the ultimate result arrives: enormous and constant income flow. The Rothschild family did this with interest income. China does it through logistics, rent, and manufacturing dependency. There's no army, no war, no territorial invasion. They aren't elected, they aren't visible, they aren't popular, nor do they want to be. They aren't trying to create global celebrities for cultural hegemony. Their only concern is money and control, because conquering countries with tanks and rifles is costly. The most reasonable approach is to conquer them with debt.